Hello. Hello, hello, hello. If I'm doing this right, you are seeing me right now. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to the AGF Design Studio channel. My name is Alana Flowers, and I'm a lettering artist and designer and the founder of AGF Design Studio. And I'm so excited to be back on the stream again today. I was able to get one in before the month ended, so pats on the back. I might have said something in the last stream about wanting to do this on the channel more in general, but by way of doing this at least once a month. So I sneaked in right before February left us. So I'm super excited to have you guys here. And let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from. Thank you so much if you're tuning in live. Thank you if you're catching the replay. We are going to be in Affinity. We're going to be in Affinity today. I almost said Affinity Designer because that was the program that I was most familiar with on my iPad. But now they've got this fancy new free desktop program, and that's right, it is free. So I was just super intrigued by this when they announced this last year. Canva acquired Affinity, and they made this beast of a program free for everybody. All you need is a Canva account. So I was definitely curious about what this program can do, and last month we did a first impression stream. So since then, I've done a little bit more poking around. There will probably still be quite a bit of chaos if I get stuck because I'm an Adobe Illustrator person. That's where I've gotten all of my vector drawing, practice in all these years. And I think that's sort of common for most graphic designers. I think Adobe is very industry standard. But Affinity is here and they're ruffling feathers and, you know, they're moving fast and breaking things. So, yeah, super excited. Super excited. Today, we're going to be creating a thank you card. That is going to be my personal project that I'm working on because I looked at my art licensing portfolio and realized I don't really have many thank you cards that are up to date. And by up to date, I mean I made them like in the last year or so. I feel like my designs looked kind of out of date. So I wanted to work on that today. So it's work, it's fun, and I left a link, I think, in the description box for you to download Affinity. You can download it for free, and you could work alongside me, open your own project, start poking around and stuff, and it'll be really fun. So I just wanted to start by showing some of the designs that I have in my art licensing portfolio on my website. So this is just an art licensing section that I have here just to show to potential clients and buyers, some of the designs that I've put together. So I think it's pretty standard to have them categorized in this way. So have for holidays. I've created a bunch of workplace cards. So these have been fun. And then things that don't necessarily fit into a set category. So yeah, that's like a taste of some of the stuff that I've worked on over the years. But I'm like, how do I not have like nice up-to-date thank you cards? So we're here to remedy that today. Also, I wanted to bring to your attention this amazing resource that literally came out yesterday. So today's the 27th. This was at least updated yesterday, the 26th. So Jessica Hische is an amazing lettering artist. I followed her career for a very long time, and she is one of the, I think, probably the first lettering artist that I saw and that I followed. And she released this giant resource of using Affinity, differences between Adobe and Affinity, and just all of these things that she's gathered in terms of her own experience. So extremely cool. So I just want to bring that to everyone's attention. I'll put that in the chat. Oh, hi, Mom. I saw her throw me some love in the chat. Let me make sure that I've got this going in the right place. But yeah, I wanted to bring that to everyone's attention because this is definitely going to help you if you're looking for finding a difference between Adobe and Affinity and you're a new Affinity user, much like myself. So I'm probably going to be referencing this throughout the stream, and just wanted to make you guys aware of that. So without further ado, let's jump in. Let's get into our project. All right. Oh, and hello, Ajnabi in the chat. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to try and keep a eye on the chat. So feel free to let me know where you're tuned in from, ask questions, vibe, all that good stuff. So far, all I've done is open the program and create a new document file. This is sized at 20 inches by 25 inches. You might be asking me, wow, that's really large. If you use the metric system, I don't know if that means much to you, but the point is that yes, it's much larger than a standard greeting card design. But Affinity is an interesting program because I know that I've been hyping up the vector capabilities and, showcasing vectors. But if you did catch the first part of the live stream from last month, Affinity has all these capabilities of basically Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign in one program. And these little toggles at the top are what sort of switch your tool set as you switch between these different programs. So I'm going to be exploring some of the pixel capabilities as well, because you can combine them seamlessly into your design without having to switch to another program, which is like a huge plus. So I have this extremely rough sketch. All of my sketches, for the most part, look pretty like gnarly and weird. So it is what it is. I'm not here to run and hide. I drew this extremely quickly just to get the composition generally out. Arced, word thank you. I'm going to play with so going in the middle with the O. So yeah, testing some compositional things there, and then arced at the bottom, much with an exclamation point. So I don't know. I think when you can make the composition playful and interesting, it sort of lends itself to the phrasing, or depending on what words you're illustrating, your composition is a way that you can help emphasize your message. So I'm going to be working with this design. I am going to quickly unlock this. So this is just in here as an image. I just took it on my phone. I discovered that if you right click, just like outside of your canvas, you can click this little option called Clip to Canvas. So this will allow you to just sort of crop everything and contain it to your canvas or artboard. I did realize after thinking, wow, that was so cool, that you can't do that if you have artboards enabled. So if I were to add another artboard to this document, I wouldn't be able to access that clip to canvas. Now it's grayed out. So just for your knowledge, but I did think that was a nice way to kind of keep things sort of together. Okay, so here I have my sketch. I am going to start by just adjusting this opacity because this is a little too dark, and I'm going to be building on top of this. So I always lower my opacity. Maybe I'll make it a little less light. 35, yeah, that's okay. 35%. And I am going to lock this. So there's just like a little padlock icon here, and I'm just going to lock that in place. So the thing is, you can see with my composition here, I have, like I said, these arced words. I have learned my lesson from doing this in Illustrator that it's better for me, or I prefer at least, to draw the words in a straight line and then let the program help me do these arcs and different shapes with the words. It's also much better that way if I end up changing my mind about the composition later. I wouldn't have drawn all of these like sideways and in this wonky way. That would make editing my composition, should I change my mind later, more difficult. So I'm going to actually just start by pulling down some guides here. And I'm just pulling these down from the top ruler here. And I can just push these up and down. Let me see, guide settings. I guess this is another way that you can add guides, and you can be really precise too. Oh wow, you can like actually put in the actual numerical, information if you want to be super duper specific about it. So that's cool. So I am going to start. How am I going to start? I think I'll start with a rectangle because a lot of these letters that I have are just, they're basically rectangles and triangles, at least to start. So we're gonna see first what I have filled in here. Okay, I was playing around with this a little earlier, so it looks like I have a gradient fill in here from before. So I'm just gonna switch this back to black so I don't get too caught up with other things. So I made a rectangle, and then just to rotate that, I call it a little antenna, but it just, that little line that sticks up will help you rotate. And I just have shift turned, I have shift, clicked to help me adjust more precisely my angles. I drew my letters kind of, I don't know how to describe them. They're kind of chunky. And I love a chunky letter, honestly. So I think I'm going to keep that kind of dense and short look. Also, let me know in the chat what you're going to be working on, or if you're just kind of watching and waiting to see what happens with this, how this unfolds. Oh, I totally didn't show you guys how things ended up from our last stream, but last stream I was working on a gift card design, and that was really cool. And you can see the result of that on my Instagram. I started it in Affinity, and I ended up copying the pixels, or was I able to just open up the document in Illustrator? I think I was just able to open up the document in Illustrator at the end, but I had to finish it in Illustrator because there wasn't a blend option, like a step repeat blend option for me, and I needed that for my letters. And if anyone knows that there actually is that function somewhere in Affinity, let me know. But I was like poking around on the internet and trying to find if something like that was available, but I was not successful in figuring that out. But we press onward. I remember using Affinity on the iPad, Affinity Designer, when it was still 3 separate programs. And I thought, this thing is freaking powerful. Like, so many capabilities. It's kind of nuts. So, yeah, I think we'll get a glimpse of that today. So I've started drawing some stuff. Again, breaking these down into rectangles. I have an A here that I drew. I drew one side of the diagonal. I'm just going to flip this. So this little menu at the top has transform tools here. So there's flip horizontal, vertical, and then rotate. So I'm just going to hit flip horizontal to just flip that around. I think I'm going to add another, because how did I kind of draw that? Maybe I didn't draw I'm going to delete that. I don't think I drew the angle so sharply because it kind of has a flat top. So maybe this angle will be better for that letter shape. Something like that. I'm also drawing these like way heavier maybe than I had drawn them in my sketch, but that's okay. Okay, so I have than. Now we need thank. In our first stream last month, I had used the pen tool to start the letters, and this shows that you can use a combination of both, just like the standard shapes that are available versus just drawing your own with the pen tool. I did a lot of I let the pen tool do a lot of the work and stroke adjustments do a lot of the work in the last stream. So this is another approach that I use a lot for drawing letters, because yeah, I think it's easier to draw them when you kind of just sort of break them down into their component shapes. And then to just sort of adjust these weights, I'm switching between the pen tool and then the node tool. So the node tool, I guess, would be like the selection tool in Illustrator, where you can sort of take these individual points and edit them more precisely, which is cool. I don't love drawing Ks. I simply do not love it. But it's okay. We all struggle. We all struggle and have the things that we do that we don't necessarily like. Okay, we're going to allow that to pass for the time being. I'm going to adjust my weights by copying this over. Has this month gone by quickly for you, or does it feel like it's gone at a snail's pace? Because for me, this month, actually, it's the shortest month of the year, but it felt like it went by really slowly for me, which I don't mind entirely, because I feel like time has been going by at such a rapid pace that I can't really deal. Also, if you remember from the first part, I couldn't find the alignment tools for a while. It was a whole thing. It was chaotic. It was chaotic, to say the least. So we've come a little bit of a way since our first dabble into the program. So definitely feeling a bit more comfy. So that's great. A little bit of progress, right? Okay, so I have the word thank here to start. Just sort of adjusting my spacing and just dragging my mouse over these letters. Sort of refining this spacing. So basically I have a bunch of different shapes here. that are individual shapes that I guess ideally would be one shape together with no like segments and overlaps and stuff. So I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to see if this works. So I'm going to highlight this, right click, go to geometry, and I'm going to select add. Okay, so that did the trick. So again, I started with these individual segments, and I can just drag over this, go to geometry, and select add. There's also probably some kind of panel for this, but this is the way that this information entered my consciousness, so I'm just going to keep doing it this way for now. But again, I'm still new in this program too. I just happen to be live streaming my experience. So I am very interested and open to learning more about this. So I'm going to leave this in a group. And just put this up here and then just toggle that off. And then I'm going to put this. That's fine. I'll just leave that there and also put them in a group. And save my document. I am, okay, thank you, card, Affinity. Okay, cool. Because I think last stream I didn't save like until the end, and my goodness, that was extremely gutsy. So I have this to start. I need to make sure much is in a similar fashion. I am using this rectangle. Should I put much at the bottom? No, that'd be kind of annoying. I'm just going to draw them close together for now before I move it within my composition. And actually, to draw much, it would be a lot more convenient for me to have the version, to have the versions of my letters that aren't already joined together. So I'm gonna start building this out. Ooh, oh no, sorry. Had a little system pop up. Okay. We're doing this live. It's live. Okay, cool. So moving this over. Oh, you know what? Oh, cool. And we have a repeat letter with H. And then H is basically U, or U is basically H, but with roundness. So let's see how we can do that. And how round do we want it to be? Because I'm thinking maybe starting from a rounded rectangle would be better, because it already kind of has the curves on the side. Oh, I keep hitting the the P for pen, which I think is the shortcut in Illustrator, but in Affinity it's S for the pen tool. And perhaps there is a way to change that, but I don't know what it is. So I know also in that article or that blog from Jessica that you can copy her shortcuts. She has like a shortcuts resource in there. So check that out, because that would probably also save you a lot of time, or it's cool because you have a resource from someone who has used Adobe programs for a long time and has configured shortcuts to their own workflow, or like to an illustrator's workflow. So that would probably be a cool resource as well. I think if you just scroll down, you can download that. So I'm hitting a snag. So let's work through it together. I have this U, and I want the inside to be curved. And I'm having an issue manipulating this shape, and I don't know why it's not letting me manipulate the shape, because I have my node tool active, and I can manipulate like the corners, but it's not letting me manipulate the individual points. So it must have something to do with the way that it's identifying this shape or something. So let's just draw this out and see if we can just draw this ourselves. So for this, I'm just using the pen tool. Actually, I'm just going to draw 1/2 of this because I don't believe in doing more work than I have to. Don't do more work than you absolutely have to. So I'm just gonna increase the stroke weight here just so I can see a little bit better what I'm doing. Or maybe I should just fill it. Okay, so I guess it doesn't super duper matter. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that that point wasn't curved anymore. So I just honestly double clicked it with Option. Ooh, hello. Someone else is in the chat. Let me see. We've got, oh, okay, Pebs 0119 said maybe convert the shape to curves. Ooh, that's a good point. And I think you're right, because these little icons on the layers are interesting because of Affinity's multiple capabilities. It has different icons for different layer types. So this is, I think it's called like a geometry layer. And then this is like considered like a curve layer. And then you could also add pixel layers, which we'll do later. So it's got a lot going on that it can do. So I think you're right. I think it does have something to do with the type of layer that it is. So I just flipped that. I'm just going to align it to that side. Now here I've got two pieces that aren't joined together yet, so I'm going to try and do that. Let me see. Let's see if I remember. Okay. Join curves. I also had issues with that last time. So now these are all together. I don't think I need this extra point though. I think I'll just delete node. Delete node? Well, I had a lot of extra nodes in there. Okay, so this one. Oh, there it is. Because I'm like, where are the handles for this? It is now angled. Okay, undo, undo, undo. I'm being particular about my about my nodes, but I'll leave it alone for now. I think a lot of vector drawing is like considering your points and like how many points you're using to draw each shape and all of this stuff. But I'm going to see if I can just move that up a little bit. I'm going to restrain myself for now. Now, ooh, intrusive thought. Okay, moving on. It's looking like, I think the C that I drew, one, is much darker and thicker. I think it's also interesting looking at my letters I think I had more of a flare design in mind for these that I'm not currently utilizing in this design, which is why it's great to leave your stuff editable. I'm going to move this. Ooh, I have a little hot corner there. If you're a Mac user, you know all about hot corners. Oops. Okay. I just want to move that over a little bit and also make this a little less intense. Okay, so now I'm just building the M and doing a little flip, 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 flip. And then I was looking at the U and seeing how I could make that into a C. Because efficiency. Also, I've been taking a type design class with a organization called Type Electives. They're super awesome. They have great classes, and it's been so much fun, but so difficult. Learning. I mean, it's a crash course. It's a 5-week course, and our last class is coming up, and I need to finish my typeface to present to the class and to my teachers. So it's just making me think about working in glyphs and using that program and learning a new program for the past month, and it has been quite a journey. So speaking of type design, and this is true for letter design in general, whether you're a type designer or a lettering artist, trying to make sure that your shapes are optically sound, I'll call it. So what I didn't do with my U rather, that I just did with my C, is accounting for a little bit of what we call overshoot. So just making a small optical compensation for rounded letters, because if you make the round letters the same height as the rectangular, more square letters, they actually appear visually smaller, which I think you can see right away when I adjusted that C. It looks so squished compared to my H and my M. So just letting that have a little bit more height above the caps on the top, and then a little bit at the bottom as well, helps make that visual adjustment. So I will do that for my U as well and group this together. So all of this goes together. So yeah, it's really interesting. And Glyphs is an interesting program and has been interesting to use, but it is cool because there are features in Glyphs that make sense that I feel like they would never add to Illustrator, but it would make me happy at least. But I guess they're so specific kind of to type design that maybe they're like, oh, maybe there's not enough universality to the feature, to adding certain features, but it's really cool. Although it has been an experience learning a new program. So look at me, I'm however many years into doing all of this stuff. Okay, I've been doing freelance lettering for 5 years. So yeah, and I was like, I want to try and make my own typeface. So that's what I've been doing. And if you're subscribed to my newsletter, you will see, outside of my classmates, you will be the first to see it. once it's done. So of course, now that I'm seeing like the other word unfold, I'm like making other adjustments so that they look visually related, which is something that you could apply to lettering, type design. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. I hope your commissions are plentiful. I hope that your homework is not painful. I hope that you have some great snacks and that you're staying hydrated. Because I know what it's like to be at your desk and you're really fixated on what you're doing, what you're working on, and you don't want to get up, or you're just so, focused that you're not paying attention to your human needs. So don't forget. I'm saying that for you, and I'm saying that for myself as well. Okay, so let me adjust my spacing. Let me group some stuff together. Group. It's so interesting, like I said, I'm still learning this program and still poking around, and it's so interesting being a beginner again in a program. And I have a lot of beginner tutorials for programs on my channel, for Fresco and for Photoshop for the iPad and for Illustrator for the iPad. And those are so fun to make because it's like, I don't know, it's so important being a beginner because it starts, that's where it all starts. So I have to practice what I preach, or it's like, if you don't know something, just, learn a new thing. Dare to learn a new thing. Okay, so I have thank and much here. Trying to see what I don't like and analyzing that a bit. And maybe, for the sake of the stream, it's not super conducive to be so particular, but I'll move on to the next word and walk you through what I'm thinking, at least. I'm thinking about a few things with these letters. I'm thinking about contrast. So contrast is the idea of what is the relationship between the thinnest part of my letter and the thickest part of my letter? Is there a difference, a visible difference between these two things? So, for example, this is not exhibiting a lot of contrast because this downstroke of the N, which is typically thicker, and these stems or legs of the N are thinner, but not much. So how exaggerated do we want the contrast to be? And how does that relate to, say, the contrast of these letters, where this sort of tapers in a bit more on the C and the U, or the U and the C, a bit more than any of my other letters, especially the A as well. I think is sticking out very much to me visually. So yeah, thinking about that. Okay, so I'm gonna keep hitting P for pen. I'm gonna keep hitting it, and it's just gonna keep happening, but because that's the shortcut that's ingrained in my mind. But I'm gonna try and not to keep hitting it. But okay, I started by drawing rectangles, but then I thought I might run into that same issue with the shapes versus curve layer type. So to avoid that, I just decided to draw it with a pen tool. Okay, so I'm gonna do what I've been doing. I'm gonna take this, flip it and reverse it. Okay. It is extremely difficult to not sing copyrighted material while I do this. It is very difficult to not do that. And also, I had considered, putting some music behind our live stream here whilst we spend some time together, but I didn't want to thrust a music choice upon you all. And I figured everyone could just listen to whatever they want to listen to while also watching the stream. And that was fine too. But let me know if you have thoughts about live streams with music, backtracks, or if you're pro backtrack or not. I think it's nice. It adds some atmosphere, I think, but again, I've really been jamming to certain things, so maybe everyone doesn't agree. And that's okay. I would love to know what music you work to. If there's any recommendations, I love a new music recommendation. And you know what I used to listen to a lot that I haven't in a while? Tiesto Club Life. Okay, he at least he used to release it every single Friday, and I loved listening to Tiesto Club Life, and I haven't in a long time. So I should probably do that because, I mean, he's a great DJ, and everyone that he collaborates with is just like awesome. So okay, I just wanted to check that those were the same width. And I'm just doing that geometry add to bring those together. Okay, so the only thing I'm missing in terms of words at this point is the word so to go in the middle. I love to try and push the boundaries compositionally, but not so much to the point where I'm like, oh my goodness, the legibility, or like you really can't tell that there's a word in there. So I am probably going to knock out that counter, that negative space in the O, and write so on top of it, just to make it easier to see. I will be keeping my other O though, so I'm just gonna turn that off for now and see if I can just select these and delete. All right. So yeah, now this is just kind of like a little plain canvas. So to draw this S and this O, I think I'm just gonna, I guess I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't draw them vertically first. I should draw them horizontally. Just to get them to a consistent size. And I guess they should be condensed. Somewhat condensed, I guess. Let's see. I'm roughly following the way that I drew this in my sketch here. Emphasis on roughly. Okay, so I have a handle here and a handle there. Drawing the letter S, generally speaking, unpleasant for most, I think. Okay, cool. I was able to add a node there, I think. Did that add a node? Yeah, it did. Okay. It's because it has it's curvy and it's got the spine. Do I want that to have a handle there? I spoke about this very briefly in my first live stream in Affinity last month, plotting points on the extrema of your letters as a general guideline for drawing them a little easier, or like understanding better where to place your points. I just want to move this over. I'm not done with this. I'm not done with it, but I want to borrow these points here. Is it letting me do it? Oh, okay, it just copied the whole thing, whatever. Okay. So, what am I doing? Oh, interesting. Okay. So these are on the same. I'm doing a test. I'm testing the alignment tool. Okay, it worked. I'm paranoid from last time, okay? Paranoid from last time. Okay, so this was a point before, and I just used the option button and I clicked the point with my node tool selected, and it grew handles, so that's what I wanted. I basically am just trying to turn this into an O. That's all I want. For this to become an O. And I'm like, oh, I can use the roundness from my S and use that to make the O without having to do too much extra work. Also think this overshoot is kind of aggressive, so I'm going to tuck these back a little bit, and I will do the same from the S. Okay. And I have some pretty aggressive overlaps here. Okay. Delete. Select. Delete. Okay, so I guess this one is controlling a much larger portion of this letter than the other side. I don't know why. What I like about lettering, and it can apply to type design too if that's what your intention is, but it can be difficult reconciling the balance between really rigid systems or certain levels of it has to be super perfect. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. And that can be challenging. So I can totally get maybe someone, I don't know, being like freaked out. Okay, I have to join the other side. I didn't join on the other side, and I don't know why. Join curse. Oh, why do you not want to join? Be friends. Join. Why don't you want to be friends? You know, the cool thing in glyphs is that you can just meet 2 points together and they automatically close. Yeah, I know. It's nuts. And now it's hard. It's hard to go back into these other programs that don't have these different, I don't even want to say highly optimized or whatever the heck, you know, things function the way they function. But it's like once you work in a different tool, it's like, how did I ever live without this feature or whatever? So I'm just being dramatic is all. But it was cool. And now I'm a little annoyed because I think there's like an extra, there's an extra point in there and I just want to delete it. Okay, there it is. I'm like, please just delete without deleting my whole path or something. Okay, it took us a minute, but we got there. It took us a minute, but we got there. How long? Someone timed it, I'm sure. Or is going to time it in the replay how long it took me to draw that O. But it's okay because it's not about speed. At least not at this point. And the cool thing about a personal project like this, or like just adding stuff to your art licensing portfolio, it's just an ongoing quest. It's an ongoing quest that you will embark on, you know, and you can add stuff to your portfolio whenever you want. And I've been thankful and fortunate to have some success licensing my designs. But a goal of mine, putting it out into the air, manifesting strongly that my designs will get picked up for retail in stores. That's like a huge goal of mine, to see my card or something on like on a product, like a mug or something, so I can see it in real life. That would be friggin' amazing. And I think it's awesome to have these goals, you know? Keep your goals, keep working at them. Like I mentioned, live streaming was one of my goals. And it took me a long time because I was afraid, but I did it eventually. And it's so much fun. I had like convinced myself that I could not self-produce a live stream for whatever reason, because I was crazy. I was crazy to put that thought in my own head. But I did, and it kept me from live streaming for a long time. So don't be me, and don't talk yourself out of your goals. All right, I'm going to leave that S alone for now. It's not bothering me at the moment. I also, on my desk here, I have some notes for myself to not forget to show certain features. So let's see, we're almost an hour in. So these are grouped together. I know that because it says group, and I can ribbon this open and see the different components of my group. So that's cool. I think I'll do the same with these letters. I will group them with Command G. I did that with this as well. And, ooh, are these also in a group? These all say group, group, group. They're in a group. Oh no, each individual letter is its own group. So those are a group, and then I'm going to group these. Okay, So what I want to do next, I could edit these letters till the cows come home, honestly, but I'm going to move on to making some compositional adjustments. So, like I mentioned, I wanted to draw these straight first. Oh, and I guess I forgot my exclamation point. I wanted to draw these straight first because, at least for myself, I often will change my mind sometimes about my composition for whatever reason, you know, and I want to be able to make a change later. And I find that difficult when I start drawing the letters on the curve in a very particular way. It's also harder, at least for me, to tell visually inconsistencies with my letters if I'm drawing them on a curve as opposed to them just being straight and even to start. So that's my thinking behind that. So I'm going to group these, and I want to just make sure all of my groups are kind of near each other. I've got some groups or some layers that I turned off. Okay, so I have my group selected, and I'm going to arc this. So let's find where that is. Vector. Okay, so under this little vector menu, you can go to New Warp Group. And this is where they're arcing and different kinds of containers are. So I'm going to try arc horizontal. Okay, yes, that's what I want. Okay, so I think in Illustrator this is called a envelope, an object envelope or something like that. But it works basically the same-ish way. And this little value slider will change like how much your text arcs. I think typically I keep it like around 20 or 25. It really just depends on like what you want for your design. Now, the way the program, I guess, identifies this is now in a warp group. So in your layers panel, you'll see it says warp group. And then if you open the ribbon menu, it shows these letters. And then inside my group are just my normal letters. Similar to Illustrator also, I think, is if you double click in here, you're editing like sort of the ghost in a way of your letters that are straight, but it will edit them as if they're still in the arc. So I would like to see another visual solution for that, but but that's the way that works. So yeah. So that was the start of that. And then we're going to do the same thing for the bottom. So we're going to hit new warp group and we're going to do arc horizontal. But then for this one, we'll do, let's see if negative works. Okay, yes, negative 25%. So then they curve in the same amount, which is nice. I think I'll turn that off. My little under sketch, and then see if I can, yes, turn off my guides. Okay. So we can kind of get a better look. Ooh, look at how that's shifting. Oh, that was weird. Okay, that looked weird. So when I moved it over, I guess it moved where the warp was happening, and now I'm getting some kind of glitch. Okay. Interesting. I was not expecting that to happen. But I did notice when I was playing around with this earlier that if you just move this, like your letters out of the warp group, it just releases the warp. So maybe I should have aligned everything first and then made the warp group. So let's try doing it that way, I guess. So I'm just going to move this out of the warp group and delete that little folder. And then make sure this is aligned to the center. To the spread, yes, center. I'm telling you, like, when I didn't know where the align tool was, I was a mess. The align tool is life. I'm like, you want me to center my own work? No, thank you. Okay, maybe I play with the scale of this a little bit. Oh, we'll get into that next. Some other effects maybe that we can do. Okay. I think I just took it, scaled it, moved it, and then uncentered everything. So we're going to do it again. Okay, let me just make sure. All of this. Okay, that wasn't centered. Okay, I'm like, something isn't centered. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to make another warp group again. Ooh, not vertical, but that is cool. Sort of creates like a, almost looks like a bullhorn or something. That definitely has its uses, I'm sure. And then vector, horizontal 25. Okay. Oh, interesting. What does the node tool do in this? Oh, okay, cool. So you can take your node tool and edit this. Does that do? Oh. It was like adding points or something, and I'm like, is this like mesh? But I know that there's a separate option for mesh. But okay, cool. So we have this to start. So, okay. So I had mentioned a bunch of stuff, but I had mentioned that Affinity does a variety of things. Vector, pixel, layout. It's all of the programs in one. So I'm going to move over to the pixel section here. And we are going to explore a little bit of adding textures and effects and stuff. So you'll notice that when I moved to the pixel tab, some of my stuff sort of rearranged. So your workspace appears to be unique to each little tab, which makes sense because their functionalities are similar but not exactly the same, and your tools would be a little bit different. So now we've entered like the Photoshop version of their program. So I have this little brushes panel here. They have a bunch of different options. So acrylics, basics, dry media, all sorts of stuff. And I was trying to think, I'm like, I really do enjoy adding textures to my work, but how would I do that? So the cool thing is that you can sort of combine the capabilities seamlessly without switching programs, obviously. So let's see how that works. Also, not a fan of the color chip being like reversed or whatever from the way that I usually have it. So I think that's the fill. Okay, so B for brush. Brie? Oh, yes, okay. So this little assistant thing popped up. So it is adding a new pixel layer because it recognizes that I am in a document that was using vector before, but now I need pixel stuff. So they added a new layer for me. So that's what that was telling me. when that popped up. So thank you very much, assistant. And I'm going to go back to this and attempt to draw something, unless I am not in the correct. Okay, I guess I had that enabled incorrectly. Oh, I guess I had the wrong color chip enabled. Okay. I'm increasing the brush size with the same shortcuts for Photoshop. So just like the brackets, left bracket for decrease and right bracket for increase. So I've never done this before, by the way, so but I caught a glimpse of Jessica doing it, so it made me curious of how to apply that. So I wonder if it would do it for a warp group, but I'm not sure. But we're gonna try. So the idea is trying to see if I could like create some kind of clipping mask or something with this. Oh, okay, interesting. So I guess I have like the reverse idea enabled. So maybe if I wanted this to show, this would have to be, and I guess that makes sense, the clipping mask for that. Okay, cool. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Okay, so let me undo this. Let me copy this, or duplicate it rather, and then do a clipping mask. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. So look at all that texture in there from that pixel brush right on top of your vector artwork. Usually to get texture in my vector work, I will use a like an image file of some kind. You know, I have like a noise PNG, and then I'll use Illustrator brushes that were designed with texture. So they're like designed to be grainy looking, but it does a number on my system, to be honest, and my document when I do that. But for this, so far so good, I'll say. So let me do that again. Oh, I did the same thing. I did the mistake again. Okay, so this is going to be the clipping mask for this, but then I also need a duplication of this. And this is just me, like, again, trying this for the first time. By no means am I saying by no means am I saying that this is the most efficient way to do it, or the only way. But yeah, that's pretty cool though. Okay. I feel like it didn't do it the same way, and I don't know why. Why does this look like this? How come it worked for that, but not for this? It has something to do with the bounding box of something. Did I select something incorrectly? Let's see. Critical mask. Yeah, it's bounding to this, but it's not. Oh, it is bounding to that. Interesting. Okay. I wonder how one would get around that, or if there is a way to get around that. Challenging. Okay. I'll leave that alone for now. Let's see what other things we can do. Let's go back to vector for a moment and just explore clipping masks in general. Because I use clipping masks all the time. Can I just select all of these and then assign them a color? Yes, I can. For some reason, my my exclamation point was not selected for some reason. Boom. Well, that's cool. It gives you like the CMYK like in the dot. That's cool. That's cool. Oh my goodness. Okay, cool. That's cool. Okay, and then we have you. And so, okay. I guess now I'm like starting to choose colors. I guess this is where we are now. Okay, let me go back. Maybe it's because I've been using Illustrator for so long that I don't even think about it. But I wonder if it's like that you always have to have a layer already established before you can put something on the layer. Like for Affinity, you can draw the rectangle and the layer will appear afterwards. Oh, I think I just did that wrong. What did I just do? Oh, this is the other version. Oops. I meant to assign color to this. Because of that little assistant thing, it's like pretty handy. And being able to just kind of put stuff places without like caring so much. I don't want to say you don't care about process, but like you don't have to be so careful, I guess, about the particulars of your layers if it'll just make layers for you. Okay, so should I make this white? I'm like, I'll make this white and then immediately lose my words on the inside, so I have to reassign that color to something else. I am very happy that it is Friday. I don't know when you're watching this. Maybe you're catching a replay, but in New York, we have survived our blizzard, and I am ready for winter to be over. I'm ready for it to be over. Because my goodness, that was a lot. Okay, cool. I'm gonna lock this in place as well. Oh, I don't know what I just said. I'm gonna lock this in place. Just hit that little padlock because I don't want to select that by accident. Have that start moving and being weird. I'm gonna hit save. And then, okay, I wanted to go into this effects panel. So quick effects. I did nothing to put this here, at least nothing that I remember or realize, but there's a lot of effects here and I want to play with them. So let's take a look. So this creates like a bevel emboss effect. You see that? That's nuts. Whoa. That's pretty freaking cool. That's pretty freaking cool. Oh, it makes me wonder if you could like... Oh, that's interesting. So I was wondering, I wonder what the difference is between doing it for something that has a stroke, something that is a filled shape. So that's interesting. That's cool. Oh, how fun. And it makes me think of like ways to simulate certain like print treatments, like for cards, because sometimes, you know, you'll license a design, but then they'll put like gold foil or something like that. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm liking that. Outline, is that literally just outlining it? Okay, that's fine. Okay, 3D. So what does this do? Okay, so 3D is like on the inside. Okay. Okay, this is like a similar panel to what you have in Photoshop. You double click the layer and then you see the layer effects. And then I think you can, what does X mean? Does X mean deleting it? X means deleting, yep. Or I guess you could just disable it temporarily by unchecking it. But okay, so you can see this happening in real time. Trying to see what soften does. Maybe softens the edges or something. Ooh, okay. Ooh, shininess. Shiny. Stuff like this is just fun to poke around in, just to sort of see what stuff does. Ooh, oh, 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 okay. I just messed that whole thing up. I'm like, now it doesn't look anything like it did before. Oh, that's interesting. You can like add and remove light sources. What? Add a light source? Oh, interesting. Oh my goodness. Okay, remove a light source. Add a light source. Interesting. Inner shadow. Inner shadow. Okay. Inner glow. I do love a good glow. Also, color overlay can come in handy when you just need to edit stuff. Ye old Gaussian blur. Yeah. That is freaking cool. Wait, so like, can I group these together? Like as a singular idea? And they'll do stuff that I want them to do? Oh, okay. Because now I was just thinking about stuff that I usually do, I guess, which is adding a little bit of colored dimension to stuff. Oh, cool. So you got RGB, CMYK. I think I set my document to CMYK because the thought is that like stuff will be printed on actual products. It will be printed on actual products. So just trying to keep my color space in a place that is manageable for future printing and stuff like that. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, I already kind of have one. One's a work group. This one's a work group. Oh, okay. So I just need to move this up a little bit, I guess. Okay. That worked out. Oh my gosh. I think I'm going to get rid of these effects for the moment. But that was cool. Okay, wait. Let me pick all these up. Oh, hello. I'm like, am I encountering a glitch? Okay, let me not scale this then. I'm making the program unhappy. Okay, so maybe I'll just change this to black then. Oh, or maybe I'll change it to... What is the eyedropper tool? Eyedropper, color picker is eye. That makes a lot of sense. Everyone calls it the eyedropper. And I guess we know why now. But there was something else. Okay, I mentioned that. I'm looking at my little cheat sheet to make sure that I did not end the stream before touching on all of the things that I wanted to mention and talk about. But I think that the rest of it will just be, the next time you see this, I'll have some more effects added, and I may or may not have drawn new letters by then. Just like, because I said there's like a certain level of inconsistency going on, and it's great for the sake of demonstration, but I know myself and I know that I'm going to want to change it. So if it ends up looking pretty different, that's why. That's why, because I'm going to be a little particular about it. But I think that's good, because you care about your work and you want it to look a certain way, and represent your craft well and the things that you really enjoy doing. So yeah, I think it'll be fun. I'm kind of surprised that I haven't already done this composition. So that's fun. I'm just adding like confetti pieces now, because filling out my composition. We saw this in the last stream, but there's a whole bunch of different shapes if you press and hold the rectangle tool. A whole bunch of shapes. I used the heart tool last time for my Valentine's Day gift card that I was designing. But this is cool. Like, look at that. Whoa, so cool. They call this a double star. I guess it does look like a star inside of a star, or like a star ate a star. So that's cool. That's cute. Let me see if I can make one of those little things. Because the only way I'm going to master this pen tool is if I keep using it. So, I'm in the align tool, and I should be in my flip horizontal tool. I also found, look at that. I also found that there is built-in like help support into the app. If you go, there's like, I think I found it under this little question mark, like there's help. So there's help, and then there's ask. So you could type in a question to their little AI helper, and it'll tell you stuff about the program. If you ask it a question, it was pretty decent. I was like, does it have this feature, or what does this feature mean? And I'd say that it was pretty helpful. So I recommend giving that a try as well, because last time I think I got caught in the weeds a bit trying to sort through the documentation that was on the website. It was just a little bit much, a little dense, and was not very high level for me, in a way that was easy to immediately apply to my problem. Or I simply just couldn't find what I was looking for. So yeah, give it a try. I'm like, I am joining these curves one way or another. I'm joining these curves. Is this a shape now? Is this a shape now? It's a shape. We did it. I'm like, it worked. Oh, I'm gonna have to keep that stroke on. Okay. Also, this is kind of nuts to be just dropping at the end of the stream, but, and we can explore this more in future streams or videos, but there is Pantone support in Affinity. You don't have to use like a Pantone like account or whatever to access Pantones in this thing. Let me see where I found it. I think I found it under the Pixel panel. Where did I find it? Because I was just like, does that say Pantone? And everyone was up in arms. Oh my gosh, I can't leave without finding this. Oh, swatches, that's what it was. Look at this. Pantones. Color bridge. Look at this. CMYK coated, uncoated, metallics, pastels, and neons. And I was like, these are Pantones. And I was kind of like, how come them and other people can't do it? So that could also be a humongous benefit, because I know that sometimes I need access to Pantone stuff and people just work around my lack of Pantone-ness, but maybe I now have Pantones because of this program. So just casually, it's like, oh yeah, you can have Pantones again. Just like, what? So definitely check that out. Explore it. Enjoy it. And I hope that made your day in some way, because I was like, has no one seen this? I don't know what your weekend plans might be, but I hope you have a fun weekend planned, or you're just going to chill and like enjoy your home, which is also cool. I am going to be doing my homework this weekend, which will be finishing my typeface and doing my presentation. I had not had homework before this class. I had not had homework in years. And I always told myself, I'm just like, yeah, pursuing like more advanced degrees is like cool, but I'm like, I really do not want to do homework again. No, thank you. But it's all good. It's all right. This is different, because, it's fun homework. It's fun homework, so it's okay. This is taking on a very youthful, playful vibe that I'm enjoying. But perhaps this is where we leave it for today's stream. So, what did we look at today? We have seen different ways of constructing letters. So, we built these out of shapes mostly. We broke these down into blocks and then we joined the shapes together. We discovered that you could switch over to the pixel tab and get a little pixel brush texture onto your vector letters, and that's pretty cool. And then you could take it back to the vector tab and do a little clipping mask over your group and just casually have really textured, cool letters like that. We also explored the quick effects panel over here, trying to see if you could also just double click it. There's probably another way to access that, but Going into the quick effects panel, super easy way to add, bevel and embossing and all this cool stuff to your letters, to your illustrations, whatever. Super cool. We talked about composition. We learned some terms. And, oh, thank you so much, Pebs. Thank you for the stream. Have a good weekend, everyone. Thank you so much. You too. You too. Thanks for tuning in. But yes, we looked at different effects that you can add. So that's pretty cool. And then we just, we're having fun with color, adding to our composition. I duplicated all of these groups and made them a darker color to create some, a little bit of a 3D effect, which I usually do. And then just filling out the composition a bit with some surrounding illustrations. If you want to see what this ends up looking like, follow me on Instagram. I will be posting it there. Also, most likely on LinkedIn and other places around the internet. So be sure to be following me in all of those places. But my oh my, what a fun stream. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too. I hope you learned a lot. I know I did. And like I said, we're continuing to learn. This is a new program for me and for a lot of people. So again, I'll link the resource from Jessica Hische from Studio Works in the description box below of different shortcuts and comparisons between Affinity and Adobe, which is a great resource for people like me who are longtime Adobe users and are kind of still working their way through the Affinity program. So be sure to check that out. Again, this is a free tool, a free program. You can download it at the link in the description box. And yeah, this was really dope. So thank you so much for tuning in, for watching the replays. If you want to stay up to date with what's going on with AGF Design Studio, with my work, sign up for my newsletter. Make sure that you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. Make sure you have your notifications set so you'll know when I go live next. But yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.